All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the Frantic Talks podcast, episode 59. I'm your host, Frantic. With me, as always, is my lovely co-host,
Grunt, who has yet to be fired.
Grunt, who has yet to be fired. I have yet to be impeached. And Puns for Freak Show. All hashtags you can now find on Twitter, with probably like one tweet, because we're the only ones that tweeted them. Actually, Impeach Frantic has like 10. But anyways, welcome to the Frantic Talks podcast, guys. We always talk about gaming.
And junk.
And junk through off our groove there, so I had to remember what we do after that. Get used to it though. So, anyways, we're got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Some cool news, funny April Fool's pranks, along with Age of Triumph and even Destiny 2, because we got a lot of fun stuff there. It's been a heck of a week, guys. Looking forward to talking about all that. But first, we'll let you know where you guys can find us and continue the conversations. So, main place to hit us up, where you'll probably get the quickest reaction, either a like, retweet, or a response, will be on Twitter. I am at FranticJ3. He is at Onyx Spartan, ONYX Spartan, all one word. And if you want to hit up our good podcast ghost, Freak Show, he's at Freak Show 187, right? Or is it 740? I always forget.
It's 187. 740 is a Twitch channel.
That's right. Okay. Freak Show 187. Send him some good puns. He's always on standby, or he'll turn whatever you send him into a pun. Most likely. He's pretty good at that. Either way, if you want to save characters,
90% of the time he will.
90%, not 100 though. So he might be off his game the time you send it to him. But either way, at Frantic_Talks is where you can hit all of us up. That way you can save some characters to maybe get what you're trying to say through. And usually you can send responses to the questions we ask you on the podcast there. Beyond that, you can catch this live every Saturday, usually at 3 p.m. Eastern, usually on twitch.tv/Frantic Talks. That's where you can find not only some archived streams of ours of playing video games, like this past week when we did holy crap, 16 hours, I think, of Destiny. Probably more. It was a lot.
Probably more than that, yes.
Yeah, you can find those there along with the podcast, like I said, live, and you can join in on the conversation, where you usually will get a shout out, of course, if you ask any questions or have some cool stuff to mention. Sometimes we get fact checkers with us, which is really nice because they'll tell us what's good or bad. Also, if you want to find the archive version of these podcasts, more or less, you can find the video versions of them essentially on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com and you have to search up Frantic Talks, will be the first thing that pops up. Click that subscribe button so you don't have to go through the search process. And so, when we hit 100 subscribers, we can pass on the word of our URL, because we don't get a URL until we hit 100 subscribers, which is really dumb. But either way, that's how you can find the video versions of that, along with our awesome Sunday show, not at all biased there, where we talk about some interesting music. Normally it's me sitting right here telling you about stuff like I'm smart or something. Got a really fun episode I'm going to try to do tomorrow. I didn't have one last week because if you saw my mini rant, is the best way to put it, on Twitter, quality over quantity. So, that being said, you can also find us on frantictalks.com, which is the mothership where it all started, where it all exists. You can find all of our podcasts there, along with all the links I just mentioned down in the footer, including some other cool little things here and there, like articles, for instance. And also you can find the magic.frantictalks website either through the main one or by just typing magic.frantictalks.com. That's where we'll talk about Magic the Gathering stuff. Lots of fun stuff there. And of course, if you aren't really in any of that and you just want to like us on Facebook, you can do this wow, that was a bad sentence. You can do that at facebook.com/Frantic Talks, or of course in the footer of the Frantic Talks website. So if you ever need to find something, just go to frantictalks.com or search Frantic Talks. You will find it all.
That 100% of the time, you will find us.
100% guarantee. I could pull it up right now and Google Frantic Talks on stream if I wanted, and we would be the first thing to pop up. Although I think Google learns that I like searching for my website because I own the website. So it might be mildly biased because Google's smart like that, but either way. So
Google's biased.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they know everything about you, just so you know.
Oh, whoa. Okay, now we're getting some conspiracy theory level stuff here.
It's not a conspiracy theory. You actually can, I think it's google.com/account, where you see it literally tracks every little thing you do. That's not a joke. You can actually go there and do that, but either way.
It's interesting, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy when you think about it, but at the same time, what's privacy? It's a discussion for another day. Let's get into the episode here. Grunt, how was your week?
It was pretty busy, actually, this week. I had to start things off last Saturday after the podcast. I went and picked up the Assassin's Creed movie on DVD and Blu-ray, and I think it even has a digital HD copy of it that I have yet to take advantage of, but whatever.
Nice.
Watched it that night and fell further in love with the movie because it's very good. If you want to see a video game based movie, I highly suggest checking it out. Even if you're not a fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise, it's well worth the watch.
I definitely want to watch it.
The DVD has some extras like deleted scenes and that stuff, and I watched those, and I can see why some of them were cut because they were probably wanting to maybe, keep the runtime of the movie fairly simple, and they would have made the movie longer, which was one of my things I had against the movie when I first saw it, was I wish it was longer. Some of the scenes I felt like they could have left in, and I'm not entirely sure why they cut them, because essentially in those scenes, without delving too much into spoiler territory, they cut a character from the movie. So I'm puzzled as to why they did that, but I don't feel it made the movie any worse not having those scenes in there.
Deleted scenes are always really interesting to watch through because you can see where they were cut, why they were cut, and then sometimes just wonder why the hell was this cut.
Exactly, and I wondered that a lot when watching those specific scenes.
I remember Amazing Spider-Man 2. As much of a clusterfuck that movie was, the deleted scenes were even worse because there was a scene where you see that Peter Parker meets his supposedly dead father.
Wait,
it was why would that have gotten thrown into the script? At what point did the writers think, yeah, this needs to happen alongside Electro and Green Goblin and Rhino and all these people, and you're just like,
why? Why is that even a thing? Come on. So yeah.
So in that case, I remember articles were just like, what the fuck? Did they not learn from Spider-Man 3? This is just an awful idea. Not the dead parent thing. No, it's just the 18 storylines in a 2-hour movie. Yeah, that's a bad idea. But anyways, continue with your week.
Let's see. Then on Tuesday, this little thing called the Age of Triumph update came out for Destiny. I don't know anything about that.
I have no idea what that, yeah.
Other than it's fun, and I'll save my full opinions of it for later.
Yeah.
Played that for a little bit on Tuesday, and then with our special podcast, Ghost Freak Show. And then played with both him and you on Wednesday. We did the Crota raid, right? On Wednesday,
yes, we did. We'll definitely talk about that because that's going to be.
That was fun. I like the Crota raid. Crota is fun, except he cheats.
Fucking hacker! Oh my god! Oh jeez, we'll get there, guys. And I think in the description of this and the links to everything, we're gonna include the clip from Magic Carp's perspective of what happened when Crota hacked. Oh, It was so bad. Anyways, keep going.
Short story for now is Crota has a lag switch on his platform.
He's gotta have a lag switch.
Let's see. Also that was Thursday. Thursday, I got new internet. Yes, no more potato internet, as I've been told recently. It's nice having that, honestly. I can actually stream. That means.
Yeah, that does.
I did a little bit yesterday for a half hour, 40 minutes, whatever. It's probably something I'll do a little bit more, but it's just not something I'm going to dive full into and become a full-time streamer wanting a partnership on Twitch.
That would always be fun, but I don't know. 9 times out of 10, it's in the back of the mind that I could be streaming. I just focused on hopping into the game and playing. So
right, exactly. Also on Thursday, to test out the new internet, I downloaded NHL 17, and because it was added to the EA Access Vault on Tuesday or Wednesday. And if you have a current active membership to EA Access, you get to download all the games in the vault and play them for free as long as you have a current active membership.
So you can just buy a $12 membership and then just download all the games you want and then cancel it.
Well, you'll lose access to those games once you cancel your membership.
Right, that's what I mean. It's preventing you from just getting a bunch of free games.
Right, exactly. So you have to have the active membership in order to play the games. You can buy the games for a discounted price through EA access. So if you like the game and you're maybe considering dropping membership later, or you only have like a month trial to it, you can buy the game for like $40 when it's maybe a brand new $60 game or something like that. I don't know what the discount price is actually, but the main reason I was really excited for that, and I believe you were here when I found out that it was added to the vault, is because I can play as my local ECHL team, which is like the friggin' third level hockey league that only a handful of people actually care about.
Right. Yeah, that is exciting.
Yes. So pretty excited about that. And when I loaded it up one night after it had finished downloading in like 45 minutes, because new internet, in case you can't tell, I'm really happy about that.
I mean, I'm excited. The quality of the video of Grunt is now better. It doesn't lag when we decide that we want to open the web browser. It's all just much better now. And you don't get kicked from games randomly, I imagine. Or at least you're doing better about that.
Doing better about that. I can play Crucible in Destiny and no longer be that red bar guy that everyone hates.
And you can play it with your dad.
That's true. I can do that too, which is also really great.
Moving on up.
Yes. Now where was I? We got sidetracked. NHL.
Yeah.
I know EA Sports prides themselves on their attention to detail for all the venues for the teams that are in their games, their sports games. Mm-hmm. But I had no idea that they would actually take the time to go to probably all of these ECHL League teams' home arenas and recreate them. I thought it would just be like some generic, ordinary stadium, like Stadium A or Stadium B in city whatever. But when I play as my local team, it actually looks like the arena that they play in, or it looks like the venue they play in, which is really cool.
That is really cool. But that's probably like, it's only, I don't know how to describe it, but I think it'd be really cool to be able to see in video game a version of something you thought no one knew of, or at least you figure it was too small to be considered. Right. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's the small things with that game that are really impressing me right now. Mm-hmm. Outside of all of that, I've picked up playing Assassin's Creed Rogue a little bit because it's backwards compatible on the Xbox One.
Right.
I haven't really played much of it because I started playing it Tuesday while I was waiting for the Age of Triumph update to come out.
As soon as it did, you noped the fuck out of there.
Basically, yeah. I haven't touched it since then. But it's the only Assassin's Creed game I own that I haven't finished. And the reason I'm playing it totally has nothing to do with me watching the movie last weekend, just for the record. Totally not at all.
Sure. I've been there.
But that's pretty much how my week was. A little busy with some game time thrown in there. Mm-hmm. So how about yours?
Let's see. We started with Saturday. I mean, we could always just go day by day here. Let's see. What did I do after the Saturday? We went and played games of some sort. Yeah, I think we had a game night here. I want to say we had a game night here.
You had a game night, I know.
Yeah, I think it was here, because I think like a week or two before that was when we actually streamed some games at a friend's house. So yeah, we just played the game nights here. And my week was kind of here and there. The main highlight, honestly, was just that Age of Triumph was coming out. I had taken Wednesday off to play all day because, if the game comes out at 1, or the update came out at 1 o'clock for me, it's halfway through my workday already. There's no point in taking off.
Right.
So I just worked through the first 4 hours of the update and then came home when everyone knew a little more about it and got to play and not have to worry about relearning certain aspects of it.
Right.
But that was a lot of fun, and we'll talk about that because that's one of the primary things we're going to talk about on the podcast today, beyond some news. But beyond that, I didn't have too much else going on this week. It was kind of a slow week. Didn't really do anything. I mean, last night I went and did a game night at a friend's house, played a couple of cool games. There was this game my friend had called Flick 'em Up, which is a pun, of course, for fuck 'em up. But it was Flick 'em Up.
That's clever.
Yeah, and the idea was one team's a group of bandits, the other's the sheriffs in the town. It's this Old West setting, and you put up, like, it takes up a whole table, and there's like little cardboard stands of like where the buildings are, and then like little squares that represent hay barrels and stuff. And the idea is you flick your characters around with your fingers, and when you shoot, you got to flick stuff at each other. So it's all about this little flicking motion that takes up this whole table, and it's got some cool mechanics. It was kind of fun. Our team got off to a bad start and eventually lost. I was the only one to inflict damage on the opponents until like the 4th or 5th round. That's about how bad it was for our team.
Wow.
At that point, we couldn't catch up. And then, so you played about 2 or 3 other games. We played this game called Suspense, which is I want to say physics-based.
Wait, leave me in suspense as to what it's about.
Okay, so it's a game where you do stuff.
No way.
This stuff's really cool. I'll
No
get
way.
to it. I just say it's hard to. It's so good. Okay, so it's called Suspense. That and essentially you start with this wooden block, and then you put these like metal rods into it, and these rods go up in the air, and then you have a little hook at the end, and from here you roll a dice and put different colored like metal rods that have curves in them, and try to balance them all, and you build it kind of out. So you start on this one base hook and have to build out and not knock this thing over. Think really advanced Jenga with metal rods that are like curving. It's really interesting. We played it a couple of times. It's a quicker game, and that was fun. Played a couple rounds of Sushi Go, actually just one round, which Sushi Go is just a drafting card game. And then we played this game called Blood Rage, which took the rest of the night, where you're essentially Vikings trying to conquer and go to Valhalla. And I started off on a slow start and decided to take the role of playing Loki, which is essentially you kill your guys off and win by killing them all off, which is like the anti way of winning. And it was a lot of fun. I ended up winning, but I got really close because I got a lot of really cool stuff. It was a really interesting game. It won like Game of the Year a couple years ago, apparently, or it came in second or something like that. There was a lot of really cool detailed figurines that you play with, and the boxing and packaging of it was really cool, all like wood to kind of make you feel like a Viking, you know. Not to say wood makes you feel like a Viking, but you get the idea. So
It totally does.
Absolutely does, I'm sure. But it was a lot of fun. I had fun playing it. And that got us to like midnight last night, so we were pretty tired and came back and kind of just fell asleep. That brings us to now after I had lunch. So that was a week. It was a really boring walkthrough of a week. It was just like step by step. Of course, I was paying attention to a lot of Magic spoilers that came out, which that's like dividing the world apart, apparently. If you haven't seen already, and I'm not going to spoil anything, I'm not going to put them up on stream. But speaking of putting things on stream, there's the Frank Talks website while I'm talking.
Whoops.
Well, no, what I normally do is I have the logo and then I put the stream up, or I put the browser up, but I can never find a good way to put it up without just straight throwing it on there. Anyways, what was I talking about? Magic spoilers. So they spoiled. They've confirmed now every set is going to have these masterpieces, which are these like super rare, awesome looking cards. Awesome being subjective now, because the idea is to print really expensive cards. That'll make you want to buy packs. It's how they're selling packs, essentially, beyond the whole buy a pack to get a card. They're really interesting normally because they print really cool cards, give them really sweet looking art, and it's like a collector's thing if you're trying to really pimp out your deck. Now, I have yet to... Yeah, Grunt has them right now on stream. He has 2 of them. I have not gotten a single one. There have been 4 sets of them now. There were 2 in the Zendikar blocks. There was 2 sets of lands. And there's like 40 of them each or something stupid like that. Or no, there's like 20 and then 20 again. So 40 total. And then they didn't do it for Innistrad because they didn't have the logistical time to organize it. But then starting with Kaladesh and moving forward, they're going to have some form of them. So in Kaladesh, since it was an artifact block, there were a lot of artifacts. Now we get to Amonkhet and they got announced that there would be invocations. So everyone's like, oh, we're going to get really cool like sorceries and stuff. Is what we all thought would happen. Now, for the most part, we got lots of really cool instants and sorceries. But the real problem is not that this exists, but the way it was executed. And I'm not going to put it on stream because there are certain people who just want to avoid spoilers. I will just say that the frame, layout, and everything, the design overall, is really interesting and maybe not in a good way. The card choices are great. I like most of the cards they pick. Some of them are like, oh, I guess they do have to pick some that aren't just crazy. But overall, the frame, style, all that is just... I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah. From a newer player's perspective, the cards do look cool, especially considering the theme of the next set.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. That's a weird looking design, really.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I said, yeah, check it out for yourself. Make your own judgment call. I don't want to tell you what I think you should think. Personally, I think they look cool, but in terms of personally, its readability and also the game we're playing, those would look really cool if it wasn't Magic, in my opinion.
Right.
Because it definitely does not look like a Magic card. That's one way to put it. So because we're going to an Egyptian set and we get gods, a lot of people were making jokes that they should have just used the Yu-Gi-Oh border.
Oh my god. Of course. I mean,
And
why
that
not?
joke, I think that joke really is going to resonate with Freak Show when he hears it.
Yes. Don't get him started on Yu-Gi-Oh.
And then there was also, I told you this, Grunt, but zombies are coming back in the set. I mean, they're kind of almost always there, but they're definitely coming back because mummies. And they're also going to be white, which is a color zombies have never been. And,
Oh no.
and then they were like, some people said, "Oh, we get white zombies? Please tell me there's a card that lets us sacrifice and search our deck for a Rob zombie."
uh, the hilarious part about that is you told me that during a week where I was on a Rob Zombie kick, so
Yeah,
that was
that's what,
literally the only thing I listened to for that entire week.
and then that made me feel really funny because it was just like it fit perfectly. And you reminded me of that joke when you say you listen to Rob Zombie. What's really funny though is there's a card that is being printed that's called Gravedigger, which is the closest to Rob Zombie I feel like you can get. Gravediggers tend to rob crypts or rob graves. Zombies tend to come from the grave, so you can
Oh my God,
you can
that's-
stretch the limits there. But I feel like if we don't get a straight Rob Zombie card, yeah, it'll be okay. So
That's amazing.
all right, guys. So that was our weeks. As always, well, I don't really normally say it as always there, but if you guys are interested in sharing your weeks, love to hear what you guys did this week. Of course, we're always interested in what you guys are up to. Usually can help us like direct where we're going with the next episode. As I like to say in the Sunday show, knowing what you like will help me better give you content you like. Kind of makes sense. So, anyways, let's go over some quick fire, rapid fire weekly news. There wasn't anything crazy that happened, I guess, even though one of the headlines I have is definitely crazy. Let's start with today, because that's the easier one. It's April Fool's Day, guys.
I never would have guessed that.
I feel like we should have started this off like really weird. Like, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Tan Dick Talk Show. I don't know. Like,
I don't know. I thought about pitching an idea to you, but it's like, I don't know.
well, the weird thing is most of the people who listen to this won't be listening to it on April Fools.
So that's true. But
Today is April Fool's when we were recording this. Saturday, April 1st, usually. And what you will...
it's usually April Fool's Day on April 1st, yes.
There's some really good pranks that I've seen so far. We just mentioned the Magic one, I'll say that.
Please
the
do.
card frames that people are pretty on the fence about. Someone made mock-ups of card sleeves that replace the art, or everything but the art on your card with the card frames. The Amonkhet invocation frames. That shit was really funny.
I'd buy those, honestly.
I'd buy them for the novelty, honestly.
Yes.
But Polygon did a cool wrap-up as of now. Like when we're recording this, although this was last updated like at noon. There was some really fun stuff in this one, and a lot of the stuff I would recommend you go check for yourself. But there was this Microtech cool toolkit that was announced, quote-unquote announced, as today goes. It's just this really freaking small toolkit with like pliers that I can't even use with my fingers. It was really funny. Nintendo Badge Arcade announcing Crazy Galaxy. I didn't really look into that because I don't know what it means, but it's a joke. The GeForce GTX Assist. Essentially, it's a graphics card USB, and you plug it in and it does some crazy stuff. Of course not. Turtle Beach announced the bag of food that just straps to your headset so you can eat while you play. There was a... Does that sound dumb?
That's one of those that's so blatantly obvious that it's a joke.
Yeah, and then there's one that was a lot of effort put into it. That's my personal favorite out of all of them. IGN and AMC presented Grand Theft Auto, the TV series, which is pretty funny. Along with other stuff like 8-Bit Bayonetta, which honestly I'd play. World of Tanks Mars mode. I think Geek is selling a Hot Pocket sleeping bag. I think that's about it for this one. And I'm sure you can find plenty more, but that's just, quick overview of some of the fun stuff that's happened today. Normally, Blizzard releases patch notes that are really funny for World of Warcraft. So if you're into that, check that out, because I think for the past few years they've done it every time. And it's usually really funny. It's like nerf those stupid hunters and their abilities or something like that. And they have really, really good stuff in there. So,
oh man, I hope so. I want to read those.
Yeah, I read them even if I'm not even up to date with the stuff. So
right.
I'd recommend that. But anyways,
I just want to say that I would totally watch GTA on AMC.
I would too, honestly. And I feel like this is going to be Goat Simulator level of something, because Goat Simulator, if you aren't familiar how that started, it was a April Fool's Day prank on Steam. And then someone was like, wait, people would actually pay for this? And a year later made the game for real. So,
oh my god. Of course.
So some April Fool's pranks that sound too good to be true or seem like a good idea after someone spoils them, like, oh wait, that seems cool, they end up being turned into it. So I feel like that'll happen.
So a year from now, when what's the guy's name? He does the voice of Trevor on GTA, and he's also on The Walking Dead. Can't remember his name.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I don't remember his name either. Holy crap, he is on The Walking Dead. That just clicked.
Yes, he is.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yes, he is. That would be hilarious if he just gets like killed off from The Walking Dead, and then a year later, it's like, boom, he has his own show on AMC that's something along the lines of GTA. AMC's like, that could get us a lot of viewers.
It would. If you're listening to this, AMC, or anyone who knows somebody in AMC, most likely no one, but either way, if you're listening, do that. That actually seems awesome. Now, I'll admit, your trailer was pretty meh. I could tell immediately it was fake, even though I mean, going into it, I knew it, but watching it, I'm like, oh, there's no sustenance. This is just a lot of panning shots of cities. So this is clearly a fake, but either way, I would still watch that.
So you've seen a lot of panning shots of cities to tell that that's fake? That's what you're saying?
Well, I'm not saying...
You've seen a few panning shots of cities in your day to know that that's a fake trailer?
I'm saying I know what stock footage looks like. That's my point. So those are really fun. Let us know what you guys had found that was one of your favorite April Fool's Day jokes. Of course, we're just talking about gaming specifically here. I imagine, just like a few years ago, there's going to be some hilarious Dream Theater announcement, because they always do some crazy nonsense. Not necessarily Dream Theater, but people who know that the fans will believe anything they hear. And I totally didn't believe there was some kick-ass concert in Chicago like 3 years ago. Didn't fall for that at all, guys. So, let us know your favorite April Fool's Day prank. Because they're always really fun. And then, I was going to move on to a really sad note. I don't know what is that? What happened to the... What?
Uh-oh.
I hovered over the Polygon logo, and it looked like I had clicked it. Because I've been like that the whole time? Shit. We're going to move on to IGN's website, because that doesn't have weird stuff happening.
All right.
Apparently, as of yesterday...
April Fool's Day joke.
It has to fuck with their logo. Polygon, nope, IGN, I'm lying, has an article here that mentions Xbox One users are able to download free comics starting today. Today being yesterday, that day being the 31st of March, considering you're probably listening to this sometime in the future. This is basically it is an IDW comic app. Brings a lot of awesome comics to your console, and along with that is some free ones, specifically ones that they already offer for free, which tend to be like first issues to get you started that we don't have to buy into something you may not like. Includes stuff like Transformers, Ghostbusters, Fear and Loathing, Judge Dredd, TMNT, and more. I would definitely recommend TMNT if anything else, because TMNT is awesome. But that's pretty awesome. I'm a big, avid comic book reader, and I love comics. So the more people have access to, the merrier. And especially digital versions, because I'm also someone who doesn't like buying paper products, because, I don't know, I like trees. So, awesome in every way possible, I think. Now we just need the Comixology app. If it already is offered, I'm sorry I said that. Because I'm lying. Ooh, look over on the left, Destiny 2 reveal trailer. We'll get there, IGN. Calm down.
God. Spoilers.
Going back to Polygon now and bringing sad news up. This is upsetting to me because of how many hours I played in Rock Band. But if you had not heard, as of March 30th, Mad Catz filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy. That's sad. I don't know how to put it beyond that. If you don't know what Mad Catz was, they make gaming peripherals. The picture on screen right now is a video game controller. That's the best way to think of it. They made a lot of they didn't make games per se until they bought Rock Band 4. We'll get to that. in a second here, but they made lots of different controllers. I remember back when I was in like Xbox 360 and Xbox original days, you'd go and buy like the controllers. I remember I think my first wireless Xbox original controller was Mad Catz.
Mine was.
Yeah. So they've been around for a decent amount of time, but unfortunately they had to file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, which is not good at all. And to give you some more details, they had laid off 37% of their staff, along with the CEO and one other person that's big up there. I don't remember the name, title. They had also resigned before any of this happened. Their stocks were plummeting, and it was just bad looking. And to move to the Rock Band part of it, they had said when they basically went all in on Rock Band 4 and told the investors, this needs to work or we're done. Well, it didn't work, unfortunately. And it's sad, Not only do I have cool memories about buying controllers from them, not like, oh wow, Mad Catz has a new controller memories, but, that was like one of my first, controllers I bought. Played a lot of Rock Band 4, and the game's been a lot of fun. It had a little rocky start, and I understand why it didn't sell as well. It was a great idea to try and revive it after the crazy boom of video games that our music simulators came in quick and then died off. It was a good idea to revive it, and I still get a lot of fun out of it, but it kind of sucks. Especially since if our hardware screws up, we have no one to call now. So
that is interesting, because you break a guitar somehow, and what do you do then? Obviously, you can buy a new one, but
yeah, you can buy like a used one from a trade store, but
yeah.
So that's unfortunate. Hate to hear about that. I think this is the second time someone big name has closed down on our podcast. The first one was the guys who made Fable. I remember that, don't you?
Lionhead Studios, yes.
Yeah, I remember covering that. I want to say there's probably like one other one that maybe we didn't cover, but I obviously video game places come and go. They are not. That is a very volatile market.
Oh yes, definitely.
So how much effort goes into it before you can even know if it's going to be worth a damn. If you're interested in stuff like that, like unseen stuff, that gives away the name. Unseen 64. They do stuff on the Did You Know Gaming YouTube channel and actually have a whole website. They do a lot of videos on games that were prototyped, even almost ready to release, and never saw the light of day. They have a lot of really good games. There was a Daredevil one that's a lot like the Batman Arkham series. There was the Avengers movie. They had a tie-in to go with it. That was like a 4-person, first-person. Think Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but first-person and even crazier. There's been a lot of other random really cool stuff. So if you're interested in that, check that out. I love watching those videos because it's always fun to learn about the backgrounds of games beyond just the lore, like the inspiration for stuff. So
go behind the scenes of how games are made.
Behind the scenes is always fun because you can always see really cool ways stuff happens. So
but
anyways, Mad Catz is done. It sucks unless they're able to somehow recoup from Chapter 7 bankruptcy. I'm not familiar with bankruptcy. I just know that usually means you're done, especially in like business sense. So
yeah,
all right.
All depends on exactly how they filed, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there's Chapter 7 and Chapter 13, and I don't know the difference.
Yes.
Anyways, no, I'm not a lawyer or a bankruptcy lawyer. Yeah, I'm not a bankruptcy lawyer, so.
I mean, you're correct both ways.
I'm not a bankrupter or a lawyer. That's not right. I'm gonna stop talking.
Just God.
So we spent most of our time this past week playing Destiny, and while we were enjoying Age of Triumph, something else happened.
I don't know what this could be.
Destiny 2.
Well, all right. I was gonna try and pull my inner Cade, but you didn't let me.
Sorry, I probably should have set that up a little better. I had it already on screen though.
No, well, I mean, IGN spoiled it 5 minutes ago anyway, so.
Yeah, they did. So if you hadn't heard about this, yes, curse you, IGN, damn you. Destiny 2 was announced, and holy shit. I don't know. Hype is one word.
That's definitely one word. Very excited is another 2, but technically falls under the hype category, so.
Yes, and it's actually called Destiny 2. There's no tagline that we are knowing of at this point. So Fate of Nope or whatever it was called or something like that. Forge of Nope. Nothing is gonna be what's the right word there? There's no other title. It's just Destiny 2.
There's no subtitles.
There you go, subtitle. That's actually right, not like subtitles captioning, like actual subtitle. Yes. What we know from this trailer is that a lot of the rumors of the Cabal raiding the tower seem to be pretty fit. The last city is kind of where it looked like it's going to take place, which is right under the Traveler. There were some cool looking enemies that we have yet to really see, and some cool little armor and tricks and stuff like that in the video. And it even gives us a reason as to why we aren't keeping all our stuff, which is that the Cabal destroyed it.
Man.
So
the hilarious thing about that is I saw a tweet about someone said the irony of everyone wanting more vault space and yet the tower gets destroyed in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, now I gotta decide what do I want to pull out to get that doesn't get destroyed, even though that's probably not how it's gonna happen.
Right, yeah, no,
more vault space.
On the
fine, you want more vault space? Boom, Cabal just like, no vault space for you.
Fuck your vault space. The someone posted on the Destiny subreddit and said, it was like, I'm fine that the Cabal are destroying everything, but I have one gripe, and that's that I don't get to keep the gun I'm holding. What, do they just take it from me and then I run away? And the top comment was like, I think you might be reading a little too much into this. I mean, it's a fair point, but to look for a logic flaw like that... Anyways, seems pretty awesome. I'm excited. We have confirmed dates of September 8th, and we have a beta coming in the summer. We do not have a date on that. But it looks like, I think confirmed was also that we will see some gameplay in May, like gameplay to either trailer or demos of some sort.
It's going to be a gameplay live stream on May 18th.
Okay, there you go. So May 18th, mark your calendars, about a month and a half away from today. A little bit over that, actually. If you are looking into that.
Joke's on you, my calendar's already marked.
Oh, okay, well, my bad. So that kind of made the world of Destiny stop for a moment and go watch this reveal trailer. Everyone got hyped, it was awesome. And then we got back to what we had been doing, which was Age of Triumph. And man, is that amazing.
Oh, man. It really is.
So, if you aren't sure what the Age of Triumph is, check out the last podcast. I'm not going to really go into it too much, just give you a quick overview. Everything was brought up to light level.
With the last three podcasts.
Oh yeah, the last three podcasts, really. No, it's okay. I mean, that was the big thing to talk about. We play a lot of Destiny, so we're going to talk about it. It's just everything's brought up to light level. Kick some ass, get some loot, and enjoy your time in Destiny 1, because the time is coming to a close in September. Bittersweet in a way. Is that the right term to use there?
I would say so, yes.
But either way, it's a lot of fun, and there is a ton to do, and 2 days worth of gaming didn't even finish everything that you do in a week, assuming you want to do everything. So to give you an overview of what we did, I got home Tuesday. We played a lot of Crucible. We did all the weekly activities to try to get through the Age of Triumph storyline, and then Wednesday we did Crota, and before that we had done some more Crucible, because the Crucible weapons master, the Crucible quartermaster, sorry, he has now weekly challenges for weapons that will give you a legendary weapon of whatever you completed it for. So if it's a hand cannon challenge, you get a legendary hand cannon. So I did
pulse rifles. You're going to get a blind perdition.
You're going to get a legendary pulse rifle, which could be a blind perdition, of course, which Freak Show really wants, and Grunt really wants.
Steel medulla.
The steel medulla, which you can't get from that. You have to do the Wrath Machine.
No,
of which I got like 4 from last time.
Don't remind me of that, please.
I'm just upset that it was like, oh, we did hard mode. Here's the steel medulla. Hey, you want another steel medulla? Steel medulla is for everybody but Grunt.
Yeah, but, we heard you like him steel medulla, so we gave you 2 and him none.
So you and Freak Show are going to trade, right?
He says no. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to give away his one and only beloved steel medulla.
I guess that's fair.
He's not getting my blind perdition.
Oh man, I feel bad that he and you can't get the guns you want. Then again, I don't even know if I have the guns I want.
I mean, yeah, you can't. You couldn't get the cloak you wanted, so
took forever, but I finally got it. Like, anyways, Age of Triumph. So, like I was saying, you can get there's these bounties. You got to get like 50 or 25 kills with the weapons, or 15. It's 50 with a primary, 25 with a special, 15 with a heavy. At least that's what it was this week. And there was 2 weekly bounties from Shacks, which are basically play 14 games in 2 different or 7 games in 2 different game modes, combined total of at least 14 games, along with getting primary kills and other stuff related to the game mode. Both of which took longer than 7 games for me, significantly longer, to the point of where I finished.
Hard, man.
They really are. Even in a meta where specials are lacking in ammo or just missing ammo, it's still hard to get them. Either way, we finished. At least I finished in all that time of playing from mostly Tuesday night and most of Wednesday morning into the afternoon. I finished all of the weekly Crucible stuff on my Hunter and Titan, and I skipped the weapons on my Warlock and didn't even finish it. And that's along with doing the weekly event activities. And there was still more to do. So in that time where we were streaming, I didn't even finish everything we could do. I figured with 2 days of playing pretty much, I would be done with most of that stuff. That way I could be like, oh, okay, here's what we can do. I'll pick what I want to do from here on out. Didn't even finish it all. I mean, we did the weekly feature raid, which is probably the biggest highlight of it all, and I'm sure people are curious about that. We'll get that in a second. But I was impressed by how much there is to do and how little time we have to do it in.
Oh yes, I was able to finish up the 2 weekly Crucible bounties on my Hunter. I think when I played with you. And then, I was able to do like the weekly activities for strikes and the weekly feature Crucible playlist. Was able to finish only one of the weapon bounties. So yeah, there's plenty of stuff to do throughout the entire week, and if you can find time to play it throughout the week, that's definitely the way to do it instead of just grinding and get it all done in one day.
Especially so for completionists, I think it's definitely harder. But for someone who's like, oh, I just want this specific awesome rolled hand cannon, you just have to do the weekly cannon thing 3 times, which will still take time. But it's cool that we have the chance to just be like, well, if this week I don't want to do the heavy one because I don't need a heavy weapon, I don't have to do it. Granted, I didn't take that attitude. I kind of just did it all trying to get them all done because I took a completionist attitude to see how long it would take me more than anything. It's definitely an option. So, with that being said, we can move on to the raid if you want to talk about that, Grunt. I don't know if there was anything you wanted to add to the Age of Triumph Beyond. Like, all the stuff's up to light level, and it's kind of the same from what we had, but it's awesome.
Oh, yeah. I like having faction packages drop at 400 now. I've gotten gotten some pretty cool weapons from that. None that I've actually used, or probably will use, but...
Yeah, that's actually helped me get to 400 light level on my Hunter, which I finally hit, by the way. Woo.
Woohoo.
And I also...
You finally got the boots? No, it's the chest piece you needed.
Yeah, I finally got the chest piece, but I got it from my Titan, who almost hit 400 before my Hunter. My Titan just needs gauntlets, and he already had everything else. I needed gauntlets and a chest piece, and...
Right.
Obviously, the chest piece was going to go to my Hunter first, but I got the chest piece before I got the gauntlets, and I considered wearing the chest piece before the gauntlets. And just being like, Hunter, you'll get it eventually, but then I gave it to my Hunter, and now I still only need gauntlets for my Titan, which are at like 398. Everything else is 400, so...
my Hunter is my main. You filthy Hunter main, you.
My Warlock's at like 397. He's just lacking in like he's got like 380 something on one of his pieces, and everything else is at like 400. It's really bad.
Wow, you should.
I should give him some more love.
Yes, you should really. Warlocks are people too.
Warlocks are people too, guys. So let's talk about Crota's Inn because that was
amazing.
10
out of 10 would rate again.
Yes, that was one of the best parts of all of that. Now, granted, it did take us a little while. I think we were shaking off the rust of not having done the raid at a proper light level. But the new parts of the encounter are great. So, if you aren't familiar with Crota's End, all I'll say is it's essentially run away from some thrall, make a bridge, keep running from thrall, and beat the shit out of Crota. And there's also some lady that sings. That's pretty much the raid. Now...
There's also a lady that sings. That's
That's the Cliff Notes.
That's the abridged version of Crota's raid. Now here's the unabridged version.
The unabridged, you start off running from some thrall between lamps. Nothing changed there, guys, but when you get to the end where you have to fight off everything while the bridge forms to run away for good, there was this thing called the safety rock that you could hop on because only thrall and only melee stuff spawned, except for an ogre, and all you needed to do was kill the ogre, and all the melee stuff that spawned can't get to you. That was a popular spot for people to be. Well,
Safety
now
rock
they
is no longer safe.
It is not safe. They started spawning in wizards. Wizards don't melee. They are the exact opposite of melee. They sit back and start shooting shit, and they'll shoot you. And before you know it, you'll be dead. Yeah, they do. They really do. They kill you pretty hard.
They also spawn, I think, a couple more ogres too, but I'm not sure.
I cannot confirm or deny. But that is what changed there. It took us a bit to get by that because we kept getting to the end and then getting destroyed by everything that spawned in. But luckily we had people who were going invisible and we finally beat that. Next up is the bridge section. You essentially stand on plates to make a bridge. You have to keep people standing on those plates or platforms or whatever. Go across the bridge, kill some stuff with a sword from the guy you spawn in, all this fun stuff. It's a little more complicated than that. Nothing changed there. I think they stopped you from being able to cheese it where you can like respawn on the other side or die and respawn and stuff, whatever. Well, not in hard mode, but...
There were a few changes to it. At least that I noticed. You can still theoretically cheese the bridge, but it's a little bit more difficult to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's doesn't sound like it's relying on getting someone over there and then having everyone else die on the other side so stuff can despawn.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it's more so relying on killing the gatekeepers on the other side once you get over there. So theoretically you could still cheese it, but you would have to die and jump across the bridge every time.
Okay. So it's just a little harder, okay.
Yes, it's a little more time consuming.
So that hadn't really changed, but once you get to the end of that encounter, the best part of the raid happens.
Oh, yes.
It is entirely new. This was not at all in the original raid. They spawn in 5 swords on the side you're on where the gatekeeper was, and then I think a 6th or 7th sword on the other side. Or you bring all the swords across and just go to fucking town on everything that spawns in, and it's great.
That is easily the most fun part of that raid.
And they're one of the slam swords, not like the ones that do the upgrades. It's the one you just slam on the ground a bunch. Oh, it's great. So you just go ham on everything there. I think they intended that to just be like, oh, we got through all this stuff. Let's wail on, take our anger out before we go sprinting through a hallway. And then, of course, next is the Thrallway, which is a bunch of thrall in a hallway that you have to get through by killing Death Singers. Shriekers, my bad. You kill Shriekers, and then hopefully if you get through fast enough, there's a chest at the end of the hallway. And this gets you to the part where you're... Oh, sorry, what?
But there's a door that closes in the room of that chest, so that's why you need to get there quickly.
Yes, you have to get there as fast as possible because it is timed. And that brings us to the Death Singer / Crota, because they're both in the same area. The Death Singer, which is basically...
the lady who sings.
It's the lady who sings that I mentioned. She is in the center room that you kind of come to that you need to kill, but you have to kill stuff around her. There's like some knights, some... random ads. There's acolytes, thrall, all fun stuff, along with shriekers that are next to her, and then you go to kill her. Well, there's also the option of doing the challenge mode, which is don't kill her. Kill everything else as fast as possible. You have to do this as quick as possible, because if you don't do it in about 2.5 minutes, I think is the max it'll hit. No, it's not even that. It's like 2 minutes and some odd change. If you don't do it in 2 minutes and 15 seconds, we'll say, you die. So the challenge mode is to do this really quick, but you kill everything as fast as possible, except her. Then she'll shriek in fear and spawn some ogres, and then once she spawns the ogres and you kill all the ogres and knights that spawn up above them, the sword bearer who normally comes out that you need to kill to fight Crota, he comes out, you get the sword from him, and then you go punch her in the face with the sword. And you have a very limited amount of time to do this, and that's the challenge mode. Yeah, and it is indeed challenging.
Oh, yes. Usually, the past couple times I've done it, they've been slower times, but we've had about anywhere from 4 seconds to no time left to kill Death Singer. So like when you and I did it on Wednesday with Freak Show and some of our other friends we know, I got volunteered to run the sword for that part there because why not? By the time we were able to clear everything out, there was like 10 seconds left by the time we grabbed the sword, maybe 15 seconds by the time we grabbed the sword. And by the time I got into the room to kill the Death Singer, there was like 3 or 4 seconds left. And luckily the sword is a one-hit kill, so, it's not that bad. It's not like you have to sit there and waste 5 seconds trying to kill her with the sword. It's just go in there and hit her once with it. Even a right button attack kills it once in one hit.
Yep.
It's very fun. And there's yesterday I did the raid with some randoms from LFG and Freak Show, and by the time we killed the Death Singer, we had no time left.
Oh, wow.
I do believe I have a clip of that from my perspective on my Xbox Live file share thing. So.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes.
Well, cool. That's awesome.
Death Singer challenge is fun. I like it.
I enjoy it. I like that it's a true challenge. Not to say the other challenge ones aren't hard, but it's definitely it's very hard.
Right. What I like about this challenge is it kind of coincides with the Crota challenge, which we'll get to here soon. Is it kind of forces people to kind of plan out what they're doing, because you have to have certain people that are going to be able to put enough damage on the ogres to kill them quickly, so use like a rocket or something, tether plus rockets. And it boils down to executing what you're supposed to do as best as you possibly can.
Yes.
So it's basically timing and execution, and that's what I love about the Death Singer challenge.
Yes. I agree with you there. I definitely like it because it is a challenge. You need to really think through what you're doing. And I will say, if you're going to attempt it, you definitely want some people with exotic swords. That really helped when we had them. It seemed to work the best that way. So
I should increase one of my swords up.
I need to actually get the frickin' swords, so
Oh, well, all right.
So anyways, that leads us to Crota, and Crota was, for some reason, ridiculously hard for us to beat when not much had changed, but I think it was more down to just more RNG than we would have wanted.
It was a lag switch. Come on. We've been over this before.
It was the lag switch. So, to describe Crota real quick, he shows up, all your health regeneration stops, a bunch of stuff spawns in the room for you that you kill real quick, more so to just get more ammo, because it takes a lot of heavy to take down Crota. You run outside, Crota's across the platform from you, and you need to go kill the guy with the sword down at the bottom floor. He spawns in with a sword, and you have to get the sword, and that's really the only way you can hurt Crota. So if you grab this, you kill the guy and take the sword, I think a timer essentially starts, and you can only have the sword for so long, and there's always stuff constantly shooting at you. And the idea is you need to shoot a rocket, a couple of rockets usually at Crota. That'll not make Crota kneel. You come up and hit him with the sword. Well, what they changed about this was he summons a, what's it called? I can't remember the name of it.
The Oversoul?
Oversoul, yes. He summons an Oversoul every time he stands back up after you've knocked him down. This used to only happen, if I'm not mistaken, when people died.
When people died out in the Crota room. You could die inside like the crystal room, which is where Death Singer's at and where you start the Crota encounter. You could die in there and be fine, but if you were out in the main room and got killed, the Oversoul would be summoned. He also does it when he's enraged. And it's just constantly Oversoul after Oversoul when he's enraged.
Yeah, and the Oversoul, to get rid of it, you have to shoot it and deal a lot of damage to it. It's not something that you can just, hold X and get rid of or something like that. In the challenge mode... Yeah, right? The challenge mode is a different person has to hold the sword. And you can't drop it at all. You have to hold on to it until it goes away. So each time you go to attack Crota, a different person needs a sword. Yeah. Or each time a sword spawns, essentially. You need someone different.
Yeah, essentially if you're like the second sword runner and you die, for example, like yesterday when I did it, you're a self-resing warlock, you die with the sword because Crota cheats again. You cannot self-res, pick up the sword, and go back, otherwise you will fail the challenge. A different person has to. It's kind of like how the War Priest challenge works in the King's Fall raid, how a different person has to hold the gaze or whatever it is for Well, it kind of works for the War Priest and Golgroth challenge, if I'm thinking about it now. Anyways, back to Crota.
Yeah, good point. So what happened to us is we were doing this, and how it was going was our friend Magikarp. He was the first one. He was going to run the sword first, and then it was kind of just randomly decided I would run the sword second, having never run the sword. And we had Grunt going third, but we never actually needed to go. We figured out a way you can do it in 2 runs, which is just popping a Weapons of Light bubble and also tethering Crota. You'll deal enough damage to kill him in 2 goes, assuming you get all the hits in. So we had a couple of times where I'd definitely get up there and get going and I'd get killed by some random wizard or something like that.
Kill one knight.
Yeah, you only kill one knight on the ledges above Crota, by the way. Don't ever kill both. So even those knights killed me. But either way, when you
did me too several times yesterday.
When you attack Crota, you down him twice, and you're going to get 2 rounds to go in and nail him with the sword. So on the second time around, he should be close to dead, if not dead, assuming you've done what we were doing. And I had the sword and was wailing on him, and my shields broke because the high boomers up above me, the knights, were shooting me. And I hit him, and then everyone's like, oh, okay, we're good. And I end up dying I die, and everyone's like, oh, it's okay, he should be dead. And then everyone looked up at Crota, and to quote Freak Show, why does Crota have no health?
That was the best thing I heard that entire raid. It was just like pure joy that we killed Crota, and then Freak Show just ruins it by saying, why does Crota have no health?
And that's not a statement of why did we kill him. It was why is he still standing with 0 health? His health bar was empty after I had hit him all these times. Fucking hacks is how. I don't know how this happened. My theory is if I would have hit him one more time, maybe he actually needed another hit. Because I'll be honest, I didn't get all my slams in. I missed 1 slam, which would have, I think, killed him. But he had no health. He had no freaking health. He
probably had like 1 point of health left, and anything would have killed him. A strong breeze could have killed him.
Clearly. So it was really bad.
We could have totally saved that run, except at that point he was enraged and on the move, so it was...
Yeah.
It was so close yet so far.
Exactly. And then took a couple more tries. After I think about 3 hours or so, we finally did actually beat Crota. Got some awesome new loot. I got 2 exotics. I think I got the Oversoul Edict and the Auto Rifle, which are elemental primaries. I also got the Word of Crota, which is a hand cannon. I also got the regular Oversoul Edict. And I want to say...
Man, you want to give me one of those Oversouls?
I know, right?
Stealing my pulse rifles. God, man.
I get so many primaries from raids, apparently. And I got the Shroud of Flies with 2 or 3 raid ornaments that I could technically make it look cool, but I didn't get any of the cool armor I wanted, so kind of bummed about that, honestly, but I'll be okay.
The cloak looks really cool with an ornament on there. Next time you're on, I'll have to preview it.
I did preview it, and that's where I was like, do I want this right now or not? And I haven't enabled it yet, so I'll see.
You do. It's amazing.
So I think overall it was a lot of fun. It was challenging, but I don't think we got too frustrated. I think we were just exhausted by the end of it. I know some people would get really mad after playing that long because they're just like, oh, just kill him, stop fucking up, and getting mad at people as if people aren't human and make mistakes. So it was a lot of fun.
I'm a robot. I don't make mistakes at all.
Well, my Warlock's a robot. I don't play him very often.
All right, well, okay.
I think that about does it, though. I think it was a lot of fun. Age of Triumph was looking great. It's going to be an awesome amount of fun. We got to try out the Daybreak modifier and the Nightfall with Rainbow Burn, of all things. That was crazy. There's just a lot of stuff, and honestly, we can only do it so much justice. I think you guys got to go experience it for yourself if you have not gotten to. Even if you haven't played since Destiny Year 1, still go try it out and have some fun, because you never know.
Oh, yes.
It's just a lot of fun. I think it's pretty easy to get to max light level. So... that's about all I can say. Vendors re-roll every week, and I keep seeing people I follow on YouTube upload like 30 minutes. Oh, Jesus. It sounded like a weird sneeze. So we saw... I saw those YouTube videos, a couple of them, people uploading that I follow that are doing vendor previews or like reviews. They're like 30 minutes long, so it's just like, oh man. There's a lot of stuff, guys, and it's all pretty great.
Oh, yes. I'm pretty anxious to see what the... perks will re-roll with for some of the weapons next week.
Yes, I'm excited to see that. I think it'll be pretty cool.
I've heard that the Palindrome this week is pretty pretty decent.
Yeah, it's another really good roll. So if no one is familiar, the palindrome was a hand cannon that was rolled when Rise of Iron came out. That was really good. It's got really good perks and stuff on it. And then they re-rolled it with this update, and it's still got really good perks. Not the same perks, but really good perks. I think it's got like Outlaw and Reactive Reload with some other random perk on it or something like that, which is a really good combination of perks if you didn't know. So
at least it's not like the Ill Will where you will be reloading that thing until Destiny 2 releases.
At least it is not the Ill Will in that regard. All right, I think that about does. I don't know if I have anything else to add. What about you?
New Crota raid is fun. Challenge modes are really fun. I like how they enforce communication and execution and playing nicely together with the rest of your raid team.
Yes.
Daybreak modifier is fun. Overall, Age of Triumph is really, really good way to send Destiny off.
I definitely agree with that sentiment. Next week, we will have Vault of Glass. Will be the featured raid. So
I just want a Fatebringer.
I just want to actually do the Vault of Glass.
A Vision Confluence.
I've only done it once, and I was kind of like autopiloting through it, so.
It's true.
So I think I'll try to find time next week to play it. So either way, guys, I think that about does it. Let's go off here and mention where you can continue this conversation. So if you got a chance to play Age of Triumph, please let us know. I want to know what you guys think. If you like it, you love it, you hate it, I'd love to hear. I'm sure Grunt would love to hear as well. If you want to know how to tell us all those things, head to Twitter. I'm at FranticJ3. He is at Onyx Spartan, ONYX Spartan, all one word. You can also hit up at Frantic_Talks. That is the official Frantic Talks Twitter account. Saves you some characters if you're trying to talk to all of us. And also you can hit up at FreakShow187. He is our lovely podcast ghost who also does lots of puns. So hashtag puns for Freak Show, hashtag Impeach Frantic, and hashtag Fire Grunt. Because we're bad at our jobs.
Actually, I believe it's Blame Grunt.
Oh, hashtag Blame Grunt. Yes.
I mean, either works fine by me, but
beyond that, though, I don't have my links in front of me. There they are. Look at that. Head over to twitch.tv/Frantic Talks, all one word, where we go live every Saturday. I just coughed.
Every Saturday.
I just choked on something.
Every Saturday, we go live at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Eastern, usually. I'm good now. Just because sometimes life gets in the way, that'll happen. You can also, follow us there, join us live, like I said. You can always join in on the conversation while we're talking about it instead of having to send late replies like a bad boyfriend. You can also head over to YouTube. Wow, okay.
The Frantic Talks listeners are our bad boyfriend. Head to youtube.com and search up Frantic Talks. Will be the first thing that pops up. Hit subscribe. Once we get 100 subscribers, it'll just be youtube.com/Frantic Talks in some manner or another. So head over to frantictalks.com. That's where you'll find all this information in the footer or within the podcasts themselves, the posts themselves. Which, speaking of, there's articles, cool podcast archive, essentially, and also head over to magic.frantictalks.com if you want to check out some Magic the Gathering talk, along with deck lists, different types of strategies, a mini little podcast series I did if you're interested in listening to me talk some more. And you can also head over to facebook.com/Frantic Talks, all one word. That's where you can like and get a more condensed and Facebook version of Twitter. That does it. I think that's about it. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher now, which apparently Stitcher is not the official Android podcast archive. Grunt.
Sorry.
Hashtag blame Grunt.
It's true.
God damn it.
I accept full responsibility.
That being said, we do have to get on the Android official market, which I believe was Google Play.
Oh.
Mur Herder, if you're still listening at this point, please notify us, because you're the one that started this.
That's true.
You're also a mod on the Frantic Talks account now. So
yeah.
When you come to the chat, you can actually kick people out. Which, by the way, we have like 6 people auto-hosting us right now. I'm not lying. I know this is like going on a tangent here, but
it's just
my
like
original...
It's just like one of those realizations, like,
There's a lot of people that could be like we have my old account, we have Mur Herder's account, we have Corky, my good friend Corky, his account. I think Freak Show's is, but it didn't notify me. Like the chat room is just like this person's auto-hosting, and it just keeps going down the line. So
I
thanks, guys.
Mine
but
should be. I don't know if I said that correctly, but mine should be too.
I think it just got tired of telling me. And it was just like, there's people auto-hosting. You're just
There's
like, okay.
people auto-hosting you. Figure it out for yourself. We don't care.
Getting on a tangent. Anyways, that about does it for us, guys. Grant, you got anything else to throw in here?
Nope.
Let us know what you think of Age of Triumph. Definitely let us know what you thought about April Fool's Day pranks, any cool ones you got. I think about does it. I'm Frantic.
I'm Grunt.
We'll see you guys next time.